Hi, my name's Kara, and today I'm going to be assessing my brother's GI and renal systems. This is Hayden. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
And what we're going to do is we're going to inspect, we're going to auscultate, we're going to percuss, and then we're going to palpate. And then we're going to check for CVA tenderness. So with that, we're going to go ahead and get started with our inspection portion. So we look at his abdomen. We are looking for symmetry in the abdomen. We're looking for it vertically as well as horizontally. We're looking at the umbilicus. We're looking for swollen areas. And I don't see above or below the umbilicus necessarily any swelling. I don't see any rashes, so that's good. Have you had any trouble with pain or tender areas in your stomach lately?
I haven't.
No? Okay, good. And we are just checking overall for a good complexion, which he does have. It's even. All right, so now what we're going to do is we're going to jump into the auscultation portion. So I'm going to listen with my stethoscope. I'm going to listen with the diaphragm first, and we're going to be listening for bowel sounds. So with the bowel sounds that we should hear is, we should hear at least 3 between 5 and 15 seconds. So with that, I'm actually going to hold my fingers up so you guys can see when we hear bowel sound, okay? We take the diaphragm. And what you want to do too is after you hear that initial bowel sound, then you start counting. So you hear the first one, but then you actually count the next one. So you hear one and then you count 1, 2, 3, like that. So I've heard the first one. Okay, move to the next section. The first one. Okay, we're moving on to the next section, the left lower quadrant. Okay, good. So now we're going to be auscultating for bruits. So we're actually going to be checking the abdominal aorta first, and we're going to do that with the bell of our stethoscope. So abdominal aorta, we're going to also listen to the renal arteries, and then we are going to listen to the iliac arteries. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. So we'll go ahead and listen. I actually find it helpful to press my stethoscope down just a little bit. It allows me to auscultate better. I can hear better. Okay, that's the abdominal aorta. Let's move to the renal arteries. And then the iliac arteries. Okay, I don't note any bruits, and if you did hear any bruits in his abdominal aorta, you could also go back up to his heart and listen and see if I heard a murmur, but I did not hear any sort of bruits or anything. Okay, so now we have inspected and we have auscultated. Now we're going to percuss. So with the percussion, I'm just going to take my hand, and I'm actually going to take one middle finger over the other, and I'm going to tap like this in each of the 4 quadrants. And we're going to be listening for timpani. That's just going to be a good even tone. If it was dull, then we would suspect maybe a little bit of fecal impaction, an enlarged liver, if you were to palpate up over here where his liver is, or also it could be a mass. So we're going to go ahead and we're going to listen to see if we hear timpani. You doing okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We're doing it each of the 4 quadrants. Okay, we hear timpani throughout. Awesome. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we are going to palpate. So if your patient is a little ticklish, you may have trouble with this. I know with young children it's kind of a challenge, but I'm just going to take the palmar surface of my fingers and I'm going to lightly palpate. We're going to do about 1 centimeter in each quadrant, and I like to do it once or twice. Well, I like to do it at least twice. That's what I was getting to. I like to do it at least twice just to make sure I kind of cover my bases. Okay, you let me know, excuse me, if you have any tenderness when I do this, okay?
Okay.
Okay. We're looking for masses, and we're looking for muscle tone. So we do notice that he's got decent muscle tone, and I don't feel any masses right off, so that's good. And if you wanted to, you could also do like a deep palpation, and you would press your hand on the patient, and you would actually use your dominant hand over your non-dominant hand. You would feel for the masses with your non-dominant hand, and you would apply pressure with your dominant hand. So you could do like this. And I'm still not feeling any sort of masses or anything. So now we're done with that portion of the assessment. We can move on to CVA tenderness. So that CVA would be his costovertebral angle, costo meaning rib, vertebral, you know, obviously meaning his vertebral column. And then we checking the angle. And then also, if he was to have tenderness when we do this, then we would suspect that he might have a kidney infection. So what I'm going to have him do is I'm going to have him sit up. Good. And then I'm going to have you pivot this way for me.
Okay.
Your back's to the camera. You're going to have to scoot left some.
All right.
Okay, perfect. So we're going to be looking at T12. So if you could feel where the bottom of his rib cage is, then you would kind of come up from that. And you can even almost see it in the camera. So his kidneys would be up underneath that costovertebral angle, so they should be in this region. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our hand and we're going to percuss this way. Well, not percuss, we're just going to check for that tenderness. So I'm going to place the hand like this, and then I'm going to actually knock it with the other fist like this. Okay, ready? You let me know if you feel any pain, okay?
Okay.
Does that hurt?
No.
Okay. Does that hurt?
Mm-mm.
Okay. Perfect. Well, thank you so much, Hayden, for letting me perform an assessment on you, and you have a good day.
Okay.